When most kids graduate college, they go to find a job. But Ethan Kreloff is not most kids. Since graduating from CU, he has created his own company, Bitcron. Computer programming has been his lifelong passion, and now he has turned that passion into a career.
So how did you get into computers originally?
Well, it pretty much started when I was like about 8 years old. My dad got me a laptop. He was really into like cutting edge technology stuff. So he got me a laptop, and I didn't really use it for much else but video games. But that just that spawned like a whole just a whole thing of kind of like an obsession with video games.
What was the first video game you got into?
First video game I got into was Freddy Fish, and that was at a really, really young age.
Did you join the computer science program right when you got to college? Come on.
Originally, I was a film major, film and history major, which is pretty big contrast from computer science. But I just kind of realized that the reason why I was in film wasn't because of like kind of the artistic qualities of film. It was more about post-production and what I could do with a computer and editing it and adding in special effects. And I just ended up, what film was like something that I wanted to do, but computers were something that I actually like did do all the time naturally. So it was just like a natural switch to try to get into the engineering school.
What were your original goals, like career goals, when you decided to pursue computers?
Originally, it was purely just out of interest and just having like a big, huge passion for it. But later down the line, I think, I mean, what I really wanted to do is do something creative with it, because, I definitely like need to know math and stuff, but I definitely consider myself more of like a creative person. And so I think naturally I just kind of gravitated towards making video games, and I think that's something that I'm still kind of striving towards, is to be a video game creator.
How did Particle Runner come about?
So Particle
And
Runner.
explain what Particle Runner is.
Yeah, so Particle Runner is the first game I've really wanted to make and had the skill set to actually create. When my first year in the engineering school, we had to do physics 1 and 2, so like classical mechanics and electromagnetism, and just after taking those classes, like, I had all this kind of like new knowledge, but it's just like I didn't really know what to do with it. I wanted to do something with it, but like there wasn't something immediate in computer science that I could use it for. So what I really kind of decided is that I wanted to try to make a game that involved all these concepts that I just created. And one thing that really stuck with me and helped me a lot through school is actually a lot of the games I played as a kid were really educational, and they had like components that were that actually taught you something while you played. And so I kind of wanted to take that same approach with Particle Runner and make a game that was not only fun to play, but also combine those elements of physics, but also was able to teach them to you as you played in an intuitive way. At the beginning, kind of I had the idea to make Particle Runner for a while, but nothing really kind of started until I met up with two friends who are also interested in making video games, and Because really, I was more of like I'm more of kind of an innovator rather than an inventor. So I kind of just needed someone to like kind of bounce ideas off of, and um, that's kind of like just the way I work. So, but once I met up with those guys, we started just making what we call concept levels pretty much every night. I think we did that for about a semester, so like 4 or 5 months of just we just stayed up. We pretty late and had like we had a whiteboard where we just kind of all discuss like levels that we would want to see made, and um, once we drew them out, we just took a picture of them, stored them, in the cloud, and by the end of that 4 or 5 month period, we had hundreds of levels, and that kind of not only shaped the it was more than just having like specific details of levels. It actually shaped like the game overall and the overall gameplay. And we just created what we wanted, what we would want to play.
All the way from its inception. How cool is that to see, and how much progress has he made?
Well, it's crazy to see how far it's come with the graphics from the actual gameplay from when I first saw it in his bedroom on a whiteboard, just little circles and lines pointing in different directions. And that kind of stuff is way over my head, but he would be up. He would be up all night. I would be waking up to go to my 8 a.m. class, and he would be just going to sleep after a long night of work. From 2012 to right now, it's I never really thought it would get here. It would get to this point. I thought it was kind of like just a side college project, but it's taken off. So it's been a wild ride watching it.
What do you think makes him so passionate about this project and Bitcron in general?
Well, computers has always been his thing. His dad, whom I've met a few times, has always been interested in new technology and things that are coming out soon, and how different apps work and how they can be productive. He's just born with a natural talent for discovering the secrets of the computers that we use and control our lives.
Then you created Bitcron. Can you explain what Bitcron is?
The way I think of it is a bit in a computer is sort of a switch that's either on and off. For me, like there's kind of like a metaphor behind the name, and that is that it's a switch that's on all the time. So it's something that we follow and things that interest us, and so it's pretty much just the company was founded originally because we wanted to just pursue a lot of different kinds of software endeavors, and it was really just purely based out of just passion and interest for those different things.
And what are some of the projects that you're working on out of Bitcron right now?
One of the other founders of Bitcron has his family owns a ranch in Texas that does cattle, and so we're working on just a system that kind of tracks all of the pieces of cattle, all the working parts of that business. And then besides those two, we're also doing a app or a piece of software that tracks and tries to predict the outcomes of NFL games. Just being a former football player, that football is just something that is a huge part of my life. We eventually, I think we want to use it to somehow get into the whole fantasy football craze and try to predict outcomes of not just the who wins the game, but also how each player performs on an individual level.
How did you get involved with Ethan?
He came to me with this idea. He seemed really passionate about it, and trusted the guy. He had good business sense, so I went along with it. And over time, I figured out that it really could be profitable and could change the way we educate people. So how I got really into it.
What's your role in the company?
I have a background in economics, so I try to do more of the business end of things, but I do taxes, and I pretty much deal with paying our contractors, which would be like our artist and our accountant, and pretty much that's it. But I also do some design as well, and so I'd play both ends of the spectrum whenever it comes to design and logistics.
You guys have gotten a lot of funding in the last year. Can you talk about that process, how it started, and where you are now?
In the beginning, we got in contact with a lot of Krylov's father's connections who are also in the venture capital business, and they really helped us with our first round of funding. And by the second round, our name kind of started to get around, and we eventually became pretty easy. And by the third round of funding, we had around $250,000 to go to marketing and a Kickstarter that we plan to start in the near future.